Alright, BMFox here, let's talk war bonds. As I am a frontline pioneer, I have had the opportunity to test them for the past 6 days and I'm gonna break them down. So what is the best use for war bonds? What are the advantages of war bonds and what is the disadvantage? Let's jump right into it. One of the prime ways to use war bonds is simply by healing your units. You can heal them quite easily, and what is cool is that it is the same price as gold. However, you can buy the double amount with war bonds, so healing units is twice as cheap as it used to be with gold. That's great news, man. A lot of players have been asking for an option to heal units. You've got it, guys. Another great use of war bonds is by destroying buildings. You can basically take out air bases of any nations, and just like with spies, you're gonna lose 30 hit points for 9,200 hit points. I'm really not a big fan of this option because with this, air units are gonna become completely obsolete, especially the use of strategical bombers. Why use strategical bombers if you can just use war bonds, right? With only a couple of clicks, you can actually send a country back to the Stone Age, man. So what are the advantages of war bonds? Well, firstly, it's gonna help you a lot to economize on the use of gold, because now you can do everything with war bonds, right? So a lot of players that were using gold, well, they're gonna have to use less gold because they're gonna be able to use their war bonds. That's good news, right? I mean, I know it is reality that everybody uses their booster cards, they use gold, and so now they get boosters and it's basically free gold. So that's good news for a lot of players, I guess. Usually when you met a golder, it was kind of difficult to counter them, but however now, if you are in a coalition, right? Well, you've got multiple players who have war bonds, and all these players, they can use it to take down a single player that is using gold. Especially if you're in a large map like World at War, you're gonna have 5 players with war bonds. You get 30 war bonds a day, that is 15,000 gold. So your team is gonna have 75,000 gold on World at War map every single day. That's good news. However, with each change there are also disadvantages. If you want to go for a solo victory, for example, well, then you have a problem, because if you have to fight a coalition of 5 players, they're gonna have 5 times more war bonds than you, so that's pretty problematic, right? So I guess we're gonna see less solo victories like we did in the past, especially on big maps. So another addition for BM versus 99. Hey, I don't know, man. With these war bonds, that's gonna be tough as nails. My biggest concern, however, is the ability to take down enemy airfields. I mean, this is overpowered. This will render the air technology tab completely useless. I mean, all these units, interceptors, strategical bombers, attack bombers, tactical bombers, naval bombers, they're gonna be obsolete. All your planes, they're just gonna get grounded. And why invest in strategical bombers anyway if you just can use war bonds, right? Another disadvantage of war bonds is that it's really going to incentivize to multi-account, right? I mean, if I can have 60,000 war bonds instead of 30 a day, hell, I might make a second account, right? Another consequence is that this will totally change competitive gameplay, both in tournaments and alliance versus alliance games. A lot of unpredictable stuff is going to happen. Air bases can be taken out, units can be spammed at the last moment in a city. Just when you are about to take it, you can spam bunkers right before a melee battle is going to be held. This is dangerous stuff that can seriously unbalance the game. Luckily, the community managers, they are aware of it, so I hope that they will make some changes, because how it is looking now, war bonds, I am not a fan, man. Even though players, tournament admins and game operators have lobbied not to allow war bonds in competitive games, Bytrostav is resolved to keep them in the competitions and tournaments, as they are now part of the standard Call of War gameplay. And the problem is that today game operators, they cannot even check the use of booster cards, they cannot check the use of war bonds. This this can only be done by community managers or Bytro staff. War bonds are gonna change the way how the game is being played, and for sure Bytro is going to pay a certain price because they're gonna lose quite some veteran players who are not okay with the way that Call of War is turning more and more into a pay-to-win. First we had the booster cards, then we had unit cards, and now we have these war bonds. And a lot of veteran players that have, like me, the free-to-play mentality are really not comfortable with this. All these recent changes to the game, they are a mission to make the game more attractive for players with a short retention or attention span. They want to make the game more accessible, which in fact might be a good thing, but if you have a short retention span, I mean, don't play games like Call of War in real-time strategy. Play Call of Duty, man. Hell, I don't know. Officially, Bytro, they have communicated that they want to level the field and give everybody a chance. But Bytro staff, both community managers and the devs, they have actually admitted that these recent changes are indeed to please players with a short retention span. Also, the devs, they believe that new players are gonna benefit because they're gonna be able to use war bonds to cover some of the mistakes they have made. But most importantly, Bytro, they just want to get rid from the stigma that is around gold, because apparently it is really hurting the business, as gold users are keeping this game free for everyone. And so whatever the community says, it looks like war bonds are here to stay, and I can only pray that the instant spy actions, they are going to be revisited. Because right now you can take down 30 hit points of a building for only 4,600 gold, which has been cheaper than ever. And you're not even gonna be able to defend yourself against it, as you cannot transfer your war bonds to another game and you cannot save them up like you could do with gold. And as you're obligated to use your war bonds in the same game, I think this will result into chaos, a lot of cheats, and a lot of frustrations for players who worked days and days on end to win a game. In the end, this is only a way to make more money faster, because whether if you want to produce units, you're still gonna need to use gold to get some resources, because as you're gonna speed up construction and production, you're gonna run out of resources faster and you're gonna be obligated to use gold to compensate for it. Anyway, this is just my opinion. These are my 2 cents on the topic. Please let me know in the comments what you think about this. Anyway, we will see what happens with these war bonds. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications. And I want to say a warm thank you to my members and elite members for supporting this channel.